How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. Y'all good?
Not bad. What your draft sort of started when you got DeForest with the trade, but what did you want to get done today, and what did you get done today?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. So when we sat down after the season, there's a couple things we really identified. One being, defensively, we knew we needed a three technique, a dominant three technique, and then looking at the draft, and then when DeForest popped up, kind of like I said the other day, I thought it was a no-brainer to make that decision and make that player acquisition. And then offensively, we knew we needed to add some explosive playmakers. Okay? We didn't care where they were at, whether it's at wide out, tight end, running back. We knew we needed to add explosive playmakers, and that's where Pittman and Taylor come into the equation.
All right, Zach Kiefer.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Zach.
My first thought after the Pittman and Taylor picks was these guys seem really polished and they seem ready to go soon. They don't seem like projects. Is that a reflection of where you guys feel that you are? I mean, your quarterback's not getting any younger. You feel like these guys can come in and play right away?
It didn't really bear into that's kind of how we, with the emphasis we put on the type of people that we want in the building. We're not perfect by any stretch, but, guys that want to work, love football, good teammates. We work hard. Our scouts, they do an unbelievable job working on these guys. Wait till you meet these two young men. They're exemplary. They're pretty special. They're pretty special guys. They're going to represent the organization in the city of Indianapolis very strongly.
Mike Wells.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, I want to talk more about Michael Pittman. We know what you have with Paris and T.Y. and speed, and you have some size and Zach Pascal. What was it about him, considering the depth in this draft at wide receiver, that said he was the guy that you guys wanted at that spot?
Yeah, look, our scouts liked him. Both Chris McGaha and Matt Turpinning, who went out there, liked him. Frank had a strong conviction on him. Also, there was a lot of – I'll say this about the receiver draft. I kind of said the other day, it was about flavor. What flavor did you want? What we saw with Michael was a guy that he could win at all three levels. He was big. He's strong to the ball. He competes. He got better every year in college. He's the type of teammate we want. We think he's got a chance to be a heck of a player. And I know you're going to ask me the trade question. We thought about that. We had a couple offers, but they weren't ones that just made you turn your head and say, you know what, we need to do this. And then when Higgins went at 33, we said, you know what, this is the time to take Pittman. We had Pittman ranked really high on our board. We liked it. I liked him. We had this kid's going to be a heck of a pro. We're excited about getting him.
I wanted to ask you a follow-up question too. Considering the logistics of how everything is done, was it smooth selling for between you and Jim and Frank, with you guys not being in the same spot?
It was great. It was great. Really no different than being in the draft room where they're all on a Zoom call. Now I've got them in a little bigger screen so I can see more people. But look, I give Anthony and Ed Dodds and, our IT guys that worked their tails off to get on. I know I'm forgetting somebody who did something, but these guys, I couldn't have done this. No freaking way. I'd have had one computer and, been doing it really old school, but they did a tremendous job organizing this. So no, everybody was on the call. We had over 20 something people, all our scouts, Frank was connected to the coaches. I would text back and forth with the coaches when trades would get a little, that was fun. When you're fielding trade calls, Kevin Rogers, Ed and I were fielding all the trade calls. And then Mike Bloom would call in the trade. But no, look, it went well. It was really good. You know, it was really cool being, you know, because your family doesn't, I mean, you know, this is work, and it was kind of, it was really neat to have them here and get to see, you know, how it all operates and how everything's go. That's a special moment. And I bet you if you asked every head coach and GM in this league, that's something they'll remember the rest of their lives.
Joel Erickson.
Hey, Chris. I guess I'll ask the obvious one. Why no quarterback in the first 2 days?
I told y'all the other day, we're not gonna force that. We're not gonna force that. It's gonna be a guy that we have a strong conviction on, and we know that we think he can be our future. And we're not there yet.
Kevin Bowen.
Chris, with Jonathan Taylor, running back middle of the second round, just the conviction on him, and just did you not think he was going to be there 3 picks later? Is that why you traded up?
Yeah. I mean, look, he's a unique talent. And anytime a unique talent starts to fumble, you know, starts to fall a little bit, we just, you know, at that point we were like, man, we need to go get the player. We knew there was other teams behind us that could have coveted him. I don't know what the guys in front of us, I don't know that. But we got 2 picks away, and we decided to go get him. And to be quite honest with you, we got the 5th back. I mean, in the next trade we made, and it's a higher 5th. So it was, to me, he's too unique a talent. There's nothing worse on draft day than there's one, all of a sudden you say, man, this guy is really going to make us better and help our football team. And then he goes to pick in front of him.
Stephen Holder.
Hey, Chris, I'm wondering, I wonder if you could kind of address whether or how much toughness comes into play with these picks. I mean, I look at the first 2 in particular. Pittman, even as a wide receiver, just has like this physical style. And Taylor obviously can be physical too. I mean, is that a big consideration for you guys, and how much did it matter?
Yeah, it's funny, in the draft room, you'll hear it a lot: reliable and tough. We want tough, reliable guys. Show up every week, compete. Teammates can count on them. That wins. That wins over time. And the more, and we've done a good job of that. We got a great locker room. We had great guys. I mean, I'll tell you a story, Frank. I haven't talked to Marlon yet, but Frank texted Marlon. I mean, look, we just drafted another good back. But Marlon's he's a special kid, man. He's a special teammate. He knows that that Taylor's going to make us better, and he's going to make Marlon better. It's just, let's go, man. Let's go win.
Let's go, Charlie Clifford. Got to unmute there, Charlie. All right, let's go, George Bremer. Charlie, I'll come back to you.
Sorry, I'm here now. My fault.
Go ahead.
Hey, sorry about that, Chris. Thanks for the time. On Blackmon, did he fall because of the knee? Did you expect him to be there?
We thought it really came more down to, I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want to lose him behind us. We thought there was a chance he would be there in the 3rd. We did not. We were worried that he would be there in the 4th. You know, he's got the ACL injury. We know that he won't be ready probably until late August, early September, which means that he might not even really help us till October. But we just, man, he is a rangy, fast, athletic safety that can play corner and he can play in the nickel.
George Bremer.
He has a lot of value in our defense and can play a bunch of multiple spots. And he's, you know, this is his first year playing safety. And we liked him at corner too. So we feel lucky to get him. He's a talented young man.
George Bremer.
Hey, George.
Chris, how's it going?
I'm good.
One of the things that you guys talked about is kind of piggybacking on what Steven talked about. along with toughness and reliability, is leadership. I think all three of these guys were either captains or were talked about in their college programs as leaders. How big of a role did that play?
It's not, I mean, look, you don't just start leading when you get into the NFL. And I tell our locker room all the time, I mean, I need to be held accountable by them too. You know, the guys, I want our locker room to know that we're going to bring in the right type of guys that want to win, that want to do the right things. That's important. And when that doesn't happen, that falls on my shoulders. It doesn't fall on the locker room. That falls on me. So our scouts do an unbelievable job, and we harp and we preach. And, you know, are we perfect? Absolutely not. We're not perfect. Hell, scouts got to talk me out of all kinds of freaking guys. I'm my own worst enemy. Y'all have no idea. I mean, there's always some really talented guys that are very hard to stay away from, but they don't fit what we stand for. So yeah, I mean, these guys are they'll fit in, they'll work, they'll earn their way, they'll be humble, and they'll earn their way, and they'll earn their play time.
Jim Aiello.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Chris. I was wondering if I mean, I don't know how much specific detail you can give on this, but I was wondering, can you kind of take us over, I mean, I guess it's not in the draft room, but over the phones as to like when Jonathan Taylor starts falling, how did that play out that you say, okay, this is where we need to go get him, or this is how, this is the spot we have to get him? Yeah.
There was a group of about 6 or 7 players at 34 that we were kind of talking through, and Jonathan was in that group. And then when he ended up, when he was all of a sudden you got 36, 37, I said, okay. We started talking, and then Mr. Irsay said, Chris, y'all been talking about this guy and how much you love him. Y'all need to go get him. So at that point, we became aggressive and, worked out a deal with Cleveland.
Okay, we'll go a few more here. Phil B.
Hi, Chris. I'm wondering how much you're willing to share on the odds and ends of moving up and moving back. How close did you come to trading into the first round? How tempted were you to do that, or how tempted to trade down from 34 early on today?
We did not try to trade into the first round at all. Matter of fact, I was eating popcorn and just hanging out, from about pick 19 to, 32. So there was no effort to try to get into the first round, despite the reports out there that we were going to move up. There was no effort. We were comfortable where we were at. We felt good about 34. We felt good about the players that were going to be there at 34. And then in terms of moving back, there was a couple things. I mean, that was kind of one of the surprises. I think early in the first round, usually you see a bunch of movement. And I think this is the first time since 2005, you didn't see as many trades in the top 10. And I think it just took all of us time to get comfortable. I think it started picking up today, with more trades. But early in the second, we didn't get any that we thought was worth the move down. I didn't want to lose Pittman. And then, when we decided to go up and get at Jonathan, that was a move up.
And a quick follow, when you traded down to get Taylor, how confident were you that you could, go fourth consecutive draft of pulling off a trade down to add another pick, which you got your fifth-round pick back?
Well, look, just get used to it. That'll be
well,
a consistent.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, I'm wondering how confident you were when you did it. We're going to get that fifth-round pick back.
Pretty confident. Yeah, we're pretty confident. Our guys do a great job working the phones. And then the league knows. I mean, they know we're open. As long as you don't just move back to move back. You move back you got to have a group of players that you still like. Like, you don't want to move back and then lose a player that you had targeted. We will never do that. If there's one on the board and he's our guy, then we're going to take him. But if there's a cluster of players that we like, and it's going to get us an extra pick down the line, then we'll do it. I was trying to think back. I was telling him today about, when we moved back it was my first year here, we moved back with Frisco, and then those 2 picks ended up being Marlon Mack and Anthony Walker. So, I mean, it gives you more shots, man. And those two guys are great pros.
Okay, we're going to go two more. Andrew Walker first, then Kevin Bowen.
Chris, we won't talk to you till after the draft tomorrow, so I wanted to ask now. With the undrafted guys, that's usually crazy even when you're in the same room together, the process. Now that you guys are separate, and I'm sure you've gone through scenarios and how that will work, but just wondering how, in general, you guys will attack that, because that seems to be kind of the big question.
Yeah, it's always a circus. It's fun, but it's always a circus. It'll be interesting. I actually told our guys, I think it's got a chance to be better because we're all on the Zoom call and we're all going to be right in front of each other. Usually what happens at the office is everybody gets spread out. We're looking for coaches, you're recruiting players, but we're all going to be in one spot. Now, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to tell you it'd be some organized, and our guys do an unbelievable job organizing it, and it will be as organized as it can be. But it is a mad dash. When that last pick hits, it's a mad dash to sign players.
Okay, Kevin Bowen, last one.
Thanks, Conte. Chris, your level of concern, if any, with the offensive line depth right now?
I don't know. I mean, we got Eldon Camp, who we like, who's back. We've signed some other guys, LaRaven Carrsflack, who's played a lot of football. So that's something we'll continue to look at, and we'll see if we address it tomorrow. And if we don't, there's still a lot of time between now and the season.